The main point here with this placement, especially the Venus square Mars, the more relevant in her situation is that Venus square Mars creates and supports, right, an imbalance of energies. It creates oversensitivity, right? It creates erratic emotions, and this means that she or the people that she attracted were very oversensitive. With this placement, you tend to attract this kind of energy, right? Oversensitive people that get easily offended and take actions impulsively. And the most and even more important is that because of such energies, because the energies are so strong, are so bold, are so impulsive, are so, people with Venus square Mars like Shanquella can have friends that turn into their enemies very quickly. You don't see it coming, maybe you don't see it coming, but it's there. It's there, and this energy can manifest itself. I think that in her case, because we are seeing what has happened, right? She was attacked by people that she probably considered to be friends. She had some level of trust towards those people. So with this kind of placement, people that you consider to be close to you, people that you consider to be friends, can very quickly turn into enemies. And the other side of her Venus that was being squared, afflicted by Saturn, the colder side, showed that those frenemies were able to attack her brutally in the coldest way possible, with no mercy. It is interesting that both her Chiron in Scorpio and her Venus in Sagittarius were illuminated during that period that she ended up disincarnating, because Chiron in Scorpio is the placement, it's the energy that tends to attract life-threatening situations. It was activated. And then her Venus in Sagittarius at 29 degrees, because it is squared by Mars, it also showed that she was surrounded by people that seemed to be her friends, but deep down were actually enemies. These two placements, these two were illuminated, set on fire, like I usually say it, during that week. So these were the energies that were activated around that time for her. And then she had a Lilith in Leo at 22 degrees. A Lilith in Leo at 22 degrees. Lilith in Leo creates, on the more challenging side, creates the energy of struggle, where one feels like they are swimming against the current. It's them against the world. It really showed that for her in that moment, right? And the 22 degrees is a massive critical degree. I will not mention much about it here, but it is a life-changing, life-altering degree. Those with such degrees have to be extra cautious with this energy and what it attracts, what it can do. Now I want to touch in her Saturn opposite Mars placements in her chart. These energies are quite prominent in her overall chart. These two energies, like I have mentioned before, are very powerful, yet when they are placed together, they tend to contradict each other. It could be that even though she had an idea of where she wanted to go, on how she wanted to do things, there was always things that kept coming along to disrupt her flow. This is also seen in her North Node. North Node is basically the direction that we are meant to embrace, the energies that we can embrace that can add up to positive outcomes, to success, right? That is North Node. I tend to see North Node and Midheaven a little bit similar. They are a little bit similar. Obviously, Midheaven is more or less what you are meant to do here, what kind of things you are meant to do, things that are going to interest you. And then North Node is basically the direction and the tools that you can adopt, that you can embrace to get there, right? Her North Node is in Libra. North Node in Libra shows that she craved and she was meant to be surrounded by lots of people. She was meant to nurture relationships with others. However, like everything in life, we must learn to be selective. Shanquella didn't have time to realize this and reshuffle and change her relationships. And this can be seen in the fact that her North Node was at a very early degree, at the 2 degrees of her North Node. It was a young energy, right? It was a young energy. Oh, it was living the North Node, because the North Nodes move in anti-clockwise direction. So it was either very young or it was very old. Which way you want to see it. So she didn't have time to realize that, because she was maturing, right? She was maturing that energy. With such an early degree in her North Node, it means that it would take her a good time before she chose the right places and the right people to surround herself with in order to truly achieve her goals and walk the higher paths, the path that would actually take her where she really wanted to go, right? And because her nodes were full, like there are loads of challenging there were loads of challenging energies affecting her North Node, and this overall just means that she would face a lot of challenges and obstacles before she could find her way and where she really wanted to go. So that's it, basically. These are the main placements that I decided to look at and assess in order to understand a little bit more of her journey and what has happened to her, and a little bit of why it has happened as well, right? Because she had energies that attracted people that didn't have the best interest at heart for her, unfortunately. And also why, in her case, she didn't have time to make amends in regards to, realizing who the people that were around her were, and the attitudes that she should have taken once she was able to realize it and choose a different path with different relationships. This is the power of energy. This is the power of the universe. This is the power of understanding how and why certain things happen on a more energetic level. Before I go, I just want to mention the fact that Shanquella's case is getting more and more interesting, because the more details I find out about this whole situation that happened to her, the more intrigued I am becoming, because details such as she traveling and being surrounded by 6 friends when this happened abroad, and the fact that the maid that found her body was called Lucy, and the fact that the place where she was staying and her body was found was called Villa Linda 32 in Puerto Los Cabos. It's very interesting. It is very interesting to me. It's very interesting. I'll keep on following this case because I would really like to see Shanquella Robinson getting justice, as this would allow her soul to rest, right? To find some closure, right? To depart from this realm on a lighter note, right? And yeah, I'll keep following this case, and if it turns out in the direction that I'm thinking that it could go, then I'll come back and expand on these last points that I have mentioned. Until then, see you on the other side. My message, like always, is if you want to understand the world, the universe, learn the universe's language. What is the language of the universe? Energy. Become fluent in that. See ya.